I have the Friday funnies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, where you're just like feeling a little silly.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello from the dark, apparently, even though I'm sitting in front of a freaking window.
Well, it fits. It's like moody, mood
is-
readers.
It is moody. That's very true. I think what I need to do is just like fork down the money for like a separate webcam thing.
Your pasta is not even started.
Like, because this webcam on in the laptop sucks. It is what it is.
They have those like clip-on like ring light things too.
But I'm literally in front of the window. There's not a cloud in the sky. Where? I think even if I had a light shining in my face, it would still be dark somehow. I don't know what it's focusing on. Maybe it's focusing on my mic or something. I don't know. Anyways.
Perfect environment.
What are you currently reading?
Well, trying to finish my reread of The Chronicle of the Bones, book 3 of Blood and Ash. So.
Okay.
And then I still picking up on my nighttime book, but I haven't picked that up in a couple of weeks, which was the Why Choose. I forget what book it was, but it's like a Why Choose monster romance with the Hades dog, 3 men.
Cleo Evans.
Yes, that one. Yes.
The Cerberus.
Yes.
The Cerberus.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't like that one as much as the second one. The second one I loved. The first one was weird when they had like the ice cream date. I was like, what the heck is this? What is this doing in my...
Which one is that one?
You haven't got there yet. That's the Cerberus.
Is it different couples or the same couples?
Oh no.
It sounds
the same couple.
The same people. Cool. Okay, I figured like with the plot, I'm like, I don't think they're gonna be able to wrap this up.
Okay, they go on an ice cream date. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
And it lost me there.
Which kind of book it is.
So I started Quicksilver, like I posted on Instagram. The beginning of that is fantastic. She's like a thief and she got caught. And that's all I'm going to say. But the writing, spectacular. So I'm only like I'm on the 3rd chapter. So I don't know. And then my audiobook that I started that really held my interest was Air of Night or something. It's by Nisha J. Tooley. It's the new adult book she wrote. So that one was really cool too. It's about like Southeast Asian folklore, mythological stuff. There's creatures and she's like trapped in a cottage for the most of her life, and she finally escapes, and she escapes to like a golden city, and there's more monsters that she's trying to fight, stuff like that. It was really interesting. I really liked it. Okay, cool. Yeah. 2 fantasy books, which usually I don't do.
Yeah, I find that hard to do sometimes.
I know. Yeah.
That and historical romance too. The same genre.
I know. I know. There's people here.
Oh, wow.
Happy Friday. Blackbird Oracle. Oh, that's the new from the series. No, it's from the series. The vampire series.
Oh gosh. The Discovery Witches?
Yeah. Isn't that the new one? Or is it a new series?
Yeah,
I think it was just the next book in it.
That or like a novella maybe? I don't, yeah, I should list.
Yep. So do we want to get into it?
Okay. Oh yeah, she said Discovery Witches.
Yeah. Am I gonna go first? I hate this book. I hate it.
I figured you're like, she's not gonna like this one.
I am also giving it 4 stars, but I hate this book because it made me cry.
Oh, it made you cry?
It made me cry.
You hate it. Okay.
It made me cry. I'll tell you why. But what did you think
Okay.
of the book?
I liked it better than my reread of The Bride because, as you know, I'm like totally rereading for the first time again because I forgot about
Yeah.
like everything. So I liked it better than The Bride. I'm thinking I'm landing like at a 3 still because I liked it, but for me it was just the voice of the narration. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
I don't like that type of style, and
Yeah.
that's the only thing. It detracts from the character building for
Yes.
me and
Yeah.
be immersed into it.
Yeah, I agree. The audiobook was not my favorite. In this book, I would say it's mostly a 3, but because of good reason, I don't do half stars. I'm rounding to a 4, and I'm only rounding to a 4 because I really liked the end of it. Like the last
That was sweet.
30%. I really like the last 30%. The first 30, boring. And she sounds 12. She sounds like a 12-year-old girl. And then when he meets her, he sounds like a condescending dad. He sounds like her father.
I agree. That was the other thing is I like a possessive hero, but I don't like it when he treats the heroine like she's a child, like infantilizing a woman.
Yeah. Like he treats her like a child. And she's supposed to be what, 25? I forget how old she's supposed to be.
21 maybe? She's young, but not that young.
She's still a kid, but it's the voice that she uses for like her normal speaking voice of the like exposition or whatever. I would have rather that been her voice for the character because that sounded like an adult female. Not like this. She talked like this the whole time for that character. And every other woman in the story was like that too. And I almost couldn't distinguish the main character from some of the other characters.
I felt like I again, how I always say, I felt like I was being told a story, but not actually shown the story. Every, they are doing this and this. Like, it's very, like, I'm going to the door to open the door. And it's that very robotic almost. And I found it very similar to even Johanna Lindsey's writing during that time. So I think it's just part of a trend because I feel like not all the books were like that, especially Johanna Lindsey. I felt like sometimes there was a variation in their writing style. So I feel like that was just part of that trend of that time. And I'm hoping that was just why. So just from the lens of now. But that's still not my favorite kind of writing is that voice.
Yeah, I did end up liking the hero in the end. Like I think at some point in like 50% of the way through, like he doesn't feel that like fatherly figure to me anymore, and he actually feels like the hero of the story. But like the first half, I was like not into it at all. And then they go on a road trip, and I was really excited for that. But the road trip is like a few chapters, and I just wanted more road trip.
Yeah. I know the road trip is like always fun.
It was an 8-day road trip, and it was only a few chapters, and I was like, there could have been more done there. But I love when they get to the town, like the Highland town, and what's going on there. And I love the women there that are having this fear surrounding the births of their children.
No.
I loved that whole storyline. And what made me cry was when what was the female main character's name again?
No, that's like 65.
Judith.
What was her name? Judith. Okay. When Judith helps the first woman give birth, right? Everything goes well. She's scared of doing it because she's not a midwife, whatever. But
65.
It's an overwhelming experience. And afterwards, she just starts bawling into the hero's shoulder, right? And he's like, was it that horrible? She's like, no, it was that beautiful. And it really like hit me how important it is during that time of your life. Like when you have a baby, I know you've had a baby too. 2, just like me. To have that support system that when you are going through your crazy, you're so overwhelmed with pain and you lean on them and you don't know that you're leaning on them so hard you're giving them bruises and they just take it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it really,
What are you doing?
it reminded me of my birth with my daughter, which was really hard. And how lucky I was to have people like that in my life. And I felt so bad. I'm going to cry too. I just feel so bad for people that don't have that. And that's what made me cry about it, is because the kindness and the compassion, even though this is a fictional character, that she could have for these people. And yeah, it made me cry. And then that's when I messaged you and I said, I hate you. I hate you for making me read this book, and I hate this book.
I was like, no context at all, because I haven't gotten there yet. So I was like,
I did not say anything else to her other than I hate you and I hate this book.
Okay.
That's all I messaged her. She's like, I'm sorry. You didn't even say I'm sorry. How rude.
I was just like, love, I love you. Sorry. Didn't love.
But that whole part, like with the midwives and the old ladies, oh God, the frustrating thing with about that the woman has to experience pain, otherwise her baby doesn't like get into heaven.
Female rage. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Like I didn't know that was a thing. Was that like an actual thing back in the day? Like
I think it was like I remember like reading like in history class and such about how like the church was very big on like seeing women when they're doing their monthlies as being unclean. And so there's times I can imagine them giving birth, they're now unclean, which the graveyard thing made me mad, really angry.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, but yeah, I feel you on the whole like birth thing, because I was actually for my daughter, my first one, it was just me and my husband. But giving birth to my daughter, I was also gestational diabetes with my son. My daughter, it was a lot worse, and I was also preeclampsia. So I was really scared. And then my sisters were there in the room with me when I gave birth. So my sisters and my husband, and he said, I actually appreciate that more, because when you had that, nurses and doctors were rushing in because my daughter wasn't getting air, and something was going wrong there for about 10 minutes or so. So I was starting to freak out because they were putting me down to freak out. Luckily, things were better quickly after that. And also being at the hospital a while, because they're like, you can't go home because it's because of you, not just because she's having oh gosh, what's it called when she's got Billy ribbon and all that.
Okay. So she was in the NICU for probably.
Yeah, it's like, you can't go home. Your blood pressure is not good, because like they were concerned about the preeclampsia thing, and I was just like, okay. And I was like so stressed, and I can remember being so scared. And then like and having my sisters there was great, and my husband was following. He was like telling me like, he's like, I was so glad your sisters were there, because I was bawling. I'm like, you were? Like, you don't know, because you were giving labor, pushing me out. But he's like, I was bawling because I was scared. And I was in the room. So
there's so much that can happen, and you hope that it's not going to go bad. But I had my mom and my sister too, with my daughter and my husband. So I had my 3 support people before COVID times, when they cut you down to like 1.
COVID,
and it was so like, we still joke about this, like how like, listen, it's hot, you're in pain, and I was sweating, okay, like buckets. And at some point, I'm like, I asked my husband, he's like, I'm like, can you wipe my face? Like, and he comes over and he goes, and I'm like, wipe my goddamn face. My mom takes the thing and she's just like, because he was trying to be so kind and nice. And it was like, it was a hilarious moment in an otherwise crappy delivery. But it's so funny because like, with my daughter, I had a great pregnancy and a crappy delivery. And then with my son, it was the complete opposite. My whole pregnancy was miserable. And then when they said he was breech and I was going to have a C-section, I was like, sweet Jesus, hallelujah. Because I was done in 45 minutes and I was like in the room chilling. I agree with this. What man decides that we need to have more pain? Oh, Lord. I couldn't believe that was a thing.
You were screaming, and I was like, oh my gosh, the rage I felt. Yeah.
Yeah, she was like mad because she was like, she wasn't screaming. She didn't have enough pain. She wasn't dying, I mean? Like, because the whole thing was like, the reason why she wanted Judith there is because like her friend's mom and grandmother passed away during childbirth, right?
Yeah.
And I wonder if that woman, she couldn't have been that old, right? To be like part of those births too. She didn't seem like she was.
She's you're talking about like Helen?
Yeah.
I think
crone.
she probably was maybe I think because she had a young child, she was probably in her older, like late 20s or early 30s, because she has a son and she was a widow. And they got married very young then because they had to. So I think that's
Yeah.
She seemed like she was like an older character, but I don't know. I feel like maybe she was like the 30s.
Yeah. Monica, this was my mom too, giving birth to both me and my sister. We practically fell out. Like the doctor with me or something wanted to go get a sandwich, and she's like, "Oh no, you don't. You better come catch this baby." I applaud you all that have short labors, and I'm so happy for you. I wasn't the case. I had intense back labor for more than 24 hours and over 2 hours pushing. So it was not a fun thing.
Yeah, I literally that time after me, I was like, I looked at him, I'm like, we are done.
Yeah.
No more.
No more.
I can't. To be honest, I was like, I don't think I could make it through another one. Like literally, like I was scared that I wouldn't make it through another one.
Oh, yeah. See, that's terrifying. And nobody should feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have religion telling you didn't have enough pain. That's what I think about that. Thank God nobody thinks that way nowadays. But, yeah. But for me, this book, I didn't really like the love interests that much. Don't know if I don't really know that I liked Judith. She's okay. And I like the hero by the end. But
the banter was fine. I actually thought some of it was kind of funny, but it wasn't like my favorite of banter that I remember. And I think I liked the relationships, the friendship the most. Ironically, like that was the highlight, like between her and her best friend. Oh God, what's her name?
It has 2 words. Remember that.
Frances
something. Don't ask me to think about names. I'm so bad.
I feel like their relations, like the relationships of the women, I think that was like the shining light in this book. Like,
that was a highlight.
Like I didn't like, why were they even? It felt like 2 different stories sometimes. Because like I didn't care about the romance because it was just like I said, to me it felt like I wasn't invested in the romance because I felt surface level because of the writing style.
To me, I think the audiobook really did a disservice to it. If I read this and didn't have that feeling of like her being 12 years old through the entire book, like I think it would have changed a lot of the way that I thought about the hero talking to her, because to me, he just talked out to her for so much of it that by the end of it, I wasn't didn't come back to it in a different place enough. I didn't change my mind enough by the end. Yeah, I definitely think this is mostly a 3, but the end, sorry.
Okay.
I definitely think this is mostly a 3, but the ending I loved, so I give it a 4.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's almost a 4 at the end. I'm like, I don't know, I just didn't. I want to be swoon. I want the swoon, a little bit more of the swoon. So that was like, I was like, okay, it wasn't. I didn't hate it or didn't like it. It wasn't that I didn't like it. I liked it. It's just middle of the road for me. And
and I love the stuff with the Laird, like he was gonna go drop out of being Laird or whatever it is, step down, and then everyone's like, oh no you don't. Basically, and the whole town got behind him. I love that kind of like
that was
small town Highlander aspect of it. But again, that was just like, to me, I think I love the setting and the town more than I really loved that romance.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
me.
Exactly. And I was like looking for the audiobook, but I couldn't find it from my library or anything. So I read it physically, actually, and ebook from my library. So I couldn't find an audiobook. So I was hoping, because sometimes I'm like, yeah, that would work. And I was hoping to get the audiobook to see if maybe that would change my experience of it. Because sometimes it could go either way. I'm like, either way, I think even physically reading it, I don't know if that would have changed it. But I'm glad, because like, especially if the narrator was more annoying, it would have taken that down even more.
I even slowed it down because I think I slowed it down to like 1.5, 1.8 at some point. Because you know how sometimes the voice can, like an annoying voice can be even more annoying when you have it at like 2 times speed or whatever. Nope. Nope. And I got the audiobook from Everand. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I think they have like all of hers from the series. I saw The Bride on there too.
Yeah, it was weird. I think my library, like in my oh gosh, what's the other one? Hoopla one too, still had The Bride, but they didn't have this one. And I know The Bride and The Wedding, it's two separate, it's its own series. And I think The Secret, this one's the start of another like series, I think. I think the next one's Ransom. So
yeah.
I think that one's like a popular one.
Did you read this on pain meds? Is that what you're saying, Monica? Are you saying that this book would be better if I was on drugs? I think all books would be better if you're on drugs, but
you won't be. I don't think I would be doing much of reading though.
I fall asleep, honestly.
Oh, that's funny.
But the drugs hit different when you're over 40. Just make you go to sleep easier.
You have to drink wine now, like at an age. I'm like, I don't even know how people do that, because I'm out for the count after one glass, and I'm like, I am ready for bed.
Yeah, I can't drink alcohol at all anymore. Like, it just makes me sick. So I'm like, but wine is, I mean, I do love a good glass of wine, but like, it does hit you. It hits you a lot different than like a beer or a cocktail.
I read one, like, I drink one glass of wine or whatever, like maybe every 6 months. I just don't. With young kids, I just don't have the gumption to, and it's just.
I don't have the taste for it anymore. It just, not when it always gives me a headache and it always makes my reflux really bad, and I'm just like, pass. I'll take like a sip of my husband's beer every once in a while. He's like, I'll get your own. I'm like, but I'll never finish it.
I just need a little sip.
Just a little sip. Right before and after.
Okay.
Yeah. They do give you some good ones. I hope they give you good ones with surgery. Sheesh. Yeah.
Hi, Abby. I think I missed
Oh, did you?
some comments. Okay. Jay Lely said she's stepping out of my normal romance and reading Unspeakable by Kevin O'Brien. Guessing that's like a nonfiction?
I don't know it, so interesting.
Oh, and a discovery, and then the Blackbird Oracle was the next book in the series. So you were right. Yeah.
Kevin.
Have you read that series, Discovery of Witches?
I read the first book and I watched the show.
Okay, I watched the show, but I haven't. I have the first book that I got from the library sale, but I haven't actually read it yet.
For me, it's not my cup of tea. It's way too academic. It felt like I was at school and I got really bored. So I skimmed a lot of it and I got to the good parts. And then there was no smexy times in the first book. So then I was like, well, this sucks. Read this whole book.
And there wasn't enough tension to keep you going, like, you know, the
other. I did like the show. Like, I can handle like super smart academic stuff in a show, but not in a book. I don't know.
Yeah, there's something like, I don't know. That's why I like the show so much. I'm like, it gives me, I love the feel of it. And I'm like, oh, it's like nostalgia of going to school.
Remember those times when you didn't have to be an adult yet?
Right?
Unspeakable is a thriller, by the way.
Ooh. Okay.
Seattle serial killer thriller.
Oh yeah, my hold from the other one that I don't think it's a sequel, but I think it's from the same author that I really enjoyed from your recommendations. S.A. Barnes for Ghost Station, the audiobook. Have that. It says 3 weeks. They'll have it here soon, hopefully.
There is a what's the second book? Is Ghost Station the second book? I have Ghost Station too.
Yeah,
And
is
I
that
have
part
not
of
read the
the
second
same
one.
series, or is she just doing something? Is it a
Oh.
standalone? But just
Dead Silence is the first one. I don't know that this is a direct sequel, but I think they have something similar related.
maybe in the same world.
But I have Ghost Station too. When you get it, we should buddy read it.
Okay.
But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
Dead
it's
Silence
awesome.
was the first one she wrote, and it's incredible.
Yeah, I
love
read
it.
that. I think I read that last time. It was my only thriller I read as an audiobook last year. And
Yeah.
it was
And it's a sci-fi horror thriller. Gotta love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so this The Discovery of Witches.
True. Maybe I did read the second one because I remember like going, oh, I'll read the second one, and the second one there it's smuttier, but I didn't remember it being smutty. Just like there was a love scene, like I don't know. It was a while ago, and maybe I skipped a lot of parts too. I do that when I get bored. I start skipping.
Yeah, I was really
I think I have this one too. But I've only read the
Dinner.
I've only read the troll one, Albie. The first one.
Come here.
The cover where she's got a knife to the throat of the troll. It was very
Oh, is that the
cozy.
one you got from Stuff Your Kindle Day?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then this one too might be. I have actually a lot of Leon Riley's books from Stuff Your Kindle Days. And I need to get to more of them. How many do I have?
Oh yeah, I gotta do that.
Oh, I have two. I have two. I have
Okay.
Healing the Orc's Heart, this one that Albie's reading, and then Prince of Beasts. Yeah, it felt very cozy, which is not normally my cup of tea, but I enjoyed it.
Oh goodness. Autocorrect put in Healing the Orca's Heart on my
Healing the Orcas. That sounds like a weird romance.
Someone needs to write that.
I need to like look that one up.
So autocorrect.
Oh, it's auto incorrect. That's what I always call it.
Right? It like literally once it takes something I spelled correctly, I just missed the space or put an N instead of the space because my thumbs are fat, and I'm like, no, don't correct it to something that's even more wrong.
Seriously. And if you get the first letter wrong, it can't guess. It's like brain freeze. It doesn't know.
Does not compute.
Just a spicy
Really. Oh my gosh.
Someone's gonna write it. Someone's gonna write it.
You gotta put Willie in the title.
You what?
You gotta put Willie in the title. Get it?
Oh, you too.
Willie. And it could be a euphemism for
Healing Willies. Healing Willie.
Wet
Healing
Willies.
Willies.
Oh my gosh. Wet Willies, but in a different kind of context.
There you go. That's it. That's the one. Anyways, historical romance.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, historical romance. Here we go. I like it when they combine the monster romance in a historical romance setting. I find that cute.
I'm still trying to find my favorite like Regency monster.
Yeah.
I haven't found the one that I like. Like they've all been just okay. Or they do a matchmaking thing, and I hate matchmaking so much.
What was the one I read last year in the romance marathon? I didn't like. He was kind of a douche because he actually had relations.
Marble Marquis.
Marble Marquis. Yeah, I'm like, he had relations with somebody while he was courting her or like into her.
He said the
He did
phrase.
do with her.
Yeah, he said that sweet nectar. But because he was like part butterfly, it was gross. Like he kept doing this butterfly thing. It was like, ugh.
Oh, that one? Yeah, the Marble Marquis. Yeah.
That was a Marble Marquis. I didn't like it.
Yeah, because he's a gargoyle guy. Yeah.
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 Wasn't my favorite. But I need to watch other ones or watch other ones. I need to read other ones. I know I can find one. It's like my alien pirate, you know, like I want that. I want that to be my thing. I want Regency Monster to be my thing, but I just haven't found the right ones yet.
Yeah.
Get Regency Alien.
I promise I was gonna.
I need a Regency Alien.
All I can think of is like the alien monsters from the movie Alien. Because I just saw it at Target with my son. The really weird alien, like the actual scary alien.
Yeah, with that big face and like the tendrils behind you. And I'll put a Regency dress on that.
What I picture is like those oh gosh, what's one with Bruce Willis when he was in that movie where he's in space with
Bruce
the
Willis
alien
in
hair.
space movie.
She was an opera singer.
Oh,
The
Fifth Element. Fifth Element.
Armageddon.
No, not Armageddon. We're talking In Space, where she's an opera singer. Fifth Element.
Yes.
Yes.
Fifth Element. That's what I picture of like an alien Regency. That would be kind of cool. But,
Yeah.
But that's what I would picture.
Yeah. All I keep thinking is the dress would be like floaty, but I'm like, it's alien. They're on a planet. They have gravity. It's not going to be like floating in space. But in my brain, I'm like, their dress would be up here.
Yeah. Be very ethereal.
Yeah. Oh.
From Lucio.
Guys playing your
Lamar?
Lamarmore?
Lamar?
It's been a long time since I saw that movie.
Yeah.
Oh. I couldn't tell you what happens in it. I just know certain scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, one day I'll have my nice Regency monster that I like. Maybe it's a Highlander monster. What if he's like a Highlander Minotaur? I bet you that's a thing.
Have you read what's that one with the milk thing? Have you read that author?
I have a book.
It's the same. It's the same author that did Marble Marquis, right?
Yeah, Miss Costa. Her books are hit and miss for me. That one's good.
Mm-hmm.
I own it because I love the cover. Armageddon.
Oh my god!
Which is from a whole different movie, I'm pretty sure, right? Armageddon.
Could be Loch Ness.
Oh, could be Loch Ness Monster.
Morning Glory Milking Farm. That's the one.
Yeah. Which then they did the blue ribbon thing too. But the guys, I need a different author. Sam Nascosta is like really hit or miss for me. Like I don't think
wasn't V talking about S.E. Wendell?
Yeah, I did read one book from S.E. Wendell. Again, too sweet, too cozy for me.
Too cozy. Yeah, it's gotta be the right balance.
Yeah, it was beautifully written. I do want to try Halfling. I think the orc one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't mind trying different books from the same author. I mean, I don't really love Sam Nascosta's books, but I've read like 4 or 5 of them. Because you never know.
I feel like it depends on the author. I feel like I want to at least to give them like at least 3 tries and not necessarily from the same series, because if I don't like one book from the series, then I can try another book from that series, but maybe branching out and try something different from them, because it might just be they were trying something new and I just didn't like that version.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Read it. I
Oh,
was
man.
disappointed. The
Lot of
Kool-Aid
writing.
Man one was not weird enough for me. It just
I
wasn't.
have no. Oh, is that one from the Weird Romance?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I missed that.
What is it? Something Cold Sweat. Because honestly, weird romance, you think weird parts, you know? Again, I'm in the dark here, but you think weird parts, and what he really was just a glass phallus. That's it. So it's like it just really wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't weird enough, and it wasn't funny enough. And it was step sibling, which I just think that's weird. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not. I know they're not related, and he was a Kool-Aid man and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know. I just don't know. I'm not a step sibling person.
So, question for you.
Yes.
Would you ever try another Julie Garwood?
Yes.
Okay.
I did like the writing, honestly. I liked the writing, and I liked her storytelling, again, of like the setting in that thing. I just don't think I liked this couple personally, and it really dragged me down.
Yeah. I could see how younger me loved this because it was like my first that kind of writing style. I didn't know any better until
Yeah.
but when you read more, then you get what you figure out what you like more, and vice versa. So coming back to this one, it was like, okay, I did like this one a lot better than The Bride.
And
I
it was a
felt like
lot more. Sorry, go ahead.
because even though she was the character was like back and forth being like a child, and him and the hero treating her like that, I felt like there were at least points in here where she was more of a stronger character than the one that I remember reading in The Bride.
I was gonna say it had a lot more like kind of feminist things too, with the women wanting to make decisions and taking their own life in their own hands. And I think those are the parts of it that I really enjoyed.
Yeah. The wedding was my first.
The Secret is Mine.
I think I don't even know which one it was, but I do recall there's a couple. I did like her for the Roses one, like that series, because it's like her Western historical romance. I remember liking that, so pretty much I remember liking all of them, or by her. But there was one I keep trying to remember, and I don't know which one it is because there's a lot of Highlander romances that she wrote, so I can't keep them straight. But there was I think there was like a childhood pining, and so it felt like more like a second chance because she meets him again when she's an adult. So I can't remember which one that one is. Maybe it's Ransom. I don't know.
I need to do like a historical romance trope thing because I don't think I like Second Chance. I don't like Friends to Lovers. It's very rare that I like those. Like Kate Bateman in The Wicked Game, I liked that one because they were like friends, and he would tease her as a young girl, and they made a bet, and he came back years later, and he's like, "I want my shot." You know, he really went after her. But I think it really depends on the book. But in general, I don't like those tropes. So,
and which is what I love. Although my particular favorite Second Chance is childhood friends to lovers, and like they somehow separate, either the betrayal or whatever, and then they come back together years later, and there's some sort of like angst and tension and pining happening.
yeah,
That's probably why I love Again the Magic so much.
probably, yeah.
And the heroine was obviously trying to reason people while she leaves stuff all over the place.
I love that though. When you're reading it, you're like, "Oh, you stupid lady." This hot dummy here. She thinks she's fooling everyone. I love spy romances.
Mine was Hot Shot. It was a newer spy romance by her. Yeah, her romantic suspense. Because I found that trend a lot. Like they've been doing, seems like Avon in particular makes historical romance authors who are big. Either they want to go in romantic suspense or they push them into romantic suspense. And that's when I was like, I accidentally was reading some romantic suspense years ago, but I actually read as many as I could because I found it was fun and I liked
Mhm.
the writing too. Um, so it's interesting how and confusing sometimes it can be when you're like, wait, this isn't historical romance, but it's by the same author and it looks similar.
Yeah.
So you have to like read it. Then away. So what
Okay.
tropes do you like in historical romance?
I know that I am a very plot driven reader. Like, I need the plot to be moving. And when the characters, especially in historical romance, are just in a drawing room talking, I can't stand it. So I like things like road trip romances. I like one bed, one horse. Well, one horse is more like fantasy romance, but like one bed, arranged marriage. Not like they don't have to be enemies, but I do like enemies to lovers. It's always like I don't know. Maybe that's a fantasy romance person in me. Class difference. I love a good class
Oh, yeah, class
difference.
difference is good, yeah.
What are some of the other ones? Those are probably like the main ones that I love. Like I mainly love like I want just if the plot is more snappier, something's actually happening rather than like I say matchmaking. Ugh. There's just too much talking and I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
But that's again because I'm more of a plot person.
Yeah, and I think I'm obviously probably more character driven, where I want to feel immersed in that way, but I still want sometimes there's still the internal plot. I still like those, but sometimes I still need it to be balanced with an external plot or external forces happening. But I think my favorite tropes are obviously second chance, childhood friends, lovers,
Yeah.
angst and tension, pining. And I think a lot of like the things I like in fantasy romance transcends into historical romance just because of like the one horse trope and like those things that could be in both. Um, but I think those are primarily those, and then the class difference is good, and then like I said again, the magic always encompasses all the tropes that I like, but
Yeah, I know.
because like the weird in the rendezvous in different locations that's not traditional like that that's why I think class difference is nice because like also like the forbidden element of it as well.
Mhm.
That's always good. The hidden identity or misleading identity is always fun
Yeah.
too.
Oh, you know what I love? Every time it happens in every historical romance. I don't know if it's necessarily a trope or it's just like a thing that I like. I love a crumbling ducal estate. Like I love when it's falling
Like it
apart.
feels a little gothic, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Spies, hidden identity,
Really fun, yeah.
pirate.
Oh yes, and pirates, of course.
I don't know
Yeah.
I don't know if those are actual tropes, but
Hidden
those will give you a
It's
big
like
idea of like what I like.
or at sea, because I feel like sometimes we put pirate, but it's also like at sea too can be part
Yeah.
of it.
And
But
it
it's
could be
just like
pirates, but not at sea. And you're like, what the hell?
yeah, exactly. I feel like it's almost become it's such a popular trope that it's always become like its own subgenre in a way because of that.
Yeah. Widow. Oh, I love a good widow. Compromise. We love a good compromised heroine. Now they have to marry.
Marriage to convenience or arranged marriage. I find that I like those in like
Yeah.
mafia romances. So
Yeah. I love arranged marriages marriage of convenience. Yeah.
Kristen Hannah.
She's like a historical romance, not romance, historical. She's just a historical fiction writer, isn't she? I didn't know she wrote in the
Yeah, she's like
90s.
historical fiction. So I didn't know she has historical romance out there. Okay.
I'll have to check out some of those books and see.
I've been wanting to
I'm
read
not
the
a big
Four Winds by her.
old
Yeah.
historical romance reader in general. I do read more of the newer stuff, which is like really interesting reading some of these with you when you suggest them because there's some gems.
Yeah, I forget about that. And I'm like, oh yeah, and I'm realizing my tastes have changed. Then I'm sad. Like, oh, the nostalgia. Let's put the nostalgia.
The nostalgia is there.
It's not
Like,
there this time.
We'll just forget my new opinions of them and go back to the old ones.
Yeah, like that's fine. I'll just remember the impact they had on shaping me the reader I am today.
Need it?
One of the fun things
Oh,
with Garwood's books, the Secret Women series has to be canon family. And the family is the focus of the romantic series in present day. Yeah, I
I
remember
love
that.
when they tie things in like that. I do love that.
Yeah. No, you two balance each other.
I can make more.
We're complete opposites.
Although it's funny because fantasy romance we're usually right in line with each
We
other,
like a lot of the same things. Yeah.
but in historical romance we're usually sometimes we're a little like
Yeah.
yin and
Go on! Go.
Dogs in the kitchen.
yang.
And then just any book that doesn't make me cry. If it makes me cry, I hate it. I will never freaking read it again. That is not why I read. I do not read books to cry over them. This is my time. It is my me time. And I do not want to spend my me time bawling my eyeballs out. I do that enough.
I think it's funny because like I'm like if I tell you everything I'm going to I feel like I'm a little bit aloof when we're buddy reading because I'm like I don't want to impact what you're reading,
I
then
do
I
the
don't
same.
want to word vomit to you and just not have anything to talk about. But
Yeah.
then I like the mystery of you like I hate you and I hate you for making me the book. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be interesting. I'm like, I guess I won't take that personally.
I know. When we're reading these books, like we're not reading them at the same time, and like I always want to message Crystal about a part. I'm like, oh, what? But I also don't want to ruin. I don't want to ruin it for you. And sometimes you're way ahead of me, and sometimes I'm way ahead of you. So it's like just depends. But it's just like I always want to on my phone, but I can't talk to you because I don't want to ruin the story for you. I don't want a spoiler.
It's funny. I feel like I'm always starting the books first, usually because I know it takes me longer. Like I'll get a good like sprint in and get most of the book done, and then I'm like I get busy or something with work, and then all of a sudden I'm like I lost that momentum, and like it happened again this time. I'm like, oh yeah, and then April's like, yeah, I finished the book. I'm like, yeah, but I
I
was
usually
there.
I'm usually like slow to start with a lot of books. Like I'll like piecemeal them, especially when I'm reading like multiple books at a time, depending on where I am or the time of day or, the situation I'm in. But then once I get to a part, like in this book, it was probably like 40 or 50%. I was just like, all right, I'm going to finish this sucker.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, audiobook on, earphones in, leave me alone. I'm going to finish this book. Crown Spies. Nice.
Okay, fine. And then I need to read Whitney, My Love. I
That
heard
one's
mixed
really
things about
old,
that.
right? Isn't that
Yeah.
one like 70s?
Yeah, and I've heard Lord of Scoundrels is one I was trying to read in during the Ever After Readathon that I hosted, but I didn't get to it. I hear because oh gosh, what's her name?
Yeah.
Autumn said that she loved this, and we usually have the same taste in a lot of like the angsty books and such, and she said that I might like this one. So
Yeah.
just
That one is on my radar. So I don't know if we want to
okay.
try that for the next.
I don't think I've ever read a Loretta Chase either. So I'm like,
Me
if I'm
neither.
gonna start it,
No,
for her.
I think I have read a Loretta Chase. Wait, 10 things something? 10 things.
I don't Whitney My Love isn't Loretta Chase, is it? Am I wrong?
No, that one, Judith McNaught.
Not. That's the other one I heard. That's the one I heard was mixing that author.
Yeah,
Like,
actually, I've read a
Louisa
Loretta
May
Chase. I read 10 Things I Hate About a Duke. That's the one I read. It was a newer one.
And I've been finding like we've been doing like these older books, and I'm like, do I like? I'm like, I think I'm like very similar with watching Maggie's video. I'm like, I think I like the 2010s era, like
Yeah.
again the Magic era. So I'm like that writing style. So I'm like, it's not that I don't like the Bodice Ripper per se. I will enjoy more that era right after that. We're still kind of women's empowerment starting, but still more obsessive heroes.
Yeah. I like current current ones, but what books? There's a few that I have on my shelf that I haven't read yet. I really want to read Daria Vernon's Highwayman one. She's a Highwayman one.
Yeah. I think
But I don't
have
think
that
it's on
one.
Kindle Unlimited, and you'd have to buy it. And I don't think there's an audiobook.
I think I got it from the Stuff Your Kindle day.
Did you? I know there's one from Daria Vernon that was on there, but the Highwayman's the first one, and then the second one was on Stuff Your Kindle Day. And I have the Highwayman one is the one I have a physical book of. Something about letters. I know Samantha hates Judith McNaught, and I love her loathing of it. It's great.
Oh, it was the Rogue's Last Letter. Yeah, you're right. That was the one I have.
The Rogue's Last Letter.
The second one. And
we can look into it and see if you can read them out of order. Usually you can, but I don't know about her books.
Well, I know we were thinking. There's one that I'm thinking that we've been talking about reading historical romance. I think for the not next month, but the one following.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one that Terry keeps telling us we need to read.
Yeah.
It's oh gosh, what's his name? Oh gosh, it's like the dark romance kind with the Victorian. Oh gosh, what's it called, Crystal? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I do not know what you're talking about. Terry, calling Terry. Terry.
She'll get a kick out of that. She watches that someday.
I know. The ones that I have on Everend, because I do usually like to do an audiobook for this. I have a KJ Charles book. I have a Nicola Davidson, which is a very 2-hour short novella, steamy novella. I don't know that I want to do that.
Yeah, I'll find it and I'll message it to you for what's next month, August or September.
Okay, we'll come up with the next. Yeah,
it'll also might match that month when we have that thing.
There's also the single Sarah McLean. Yeah, the single Sarah McLean book that I haven't read is The Day of the Duchess. Literally read all the other ones.
Did you read the first one of that series?
Yeah, I've read all of them.
I love The Day of the Duchess. That's a good one.
That's the only one I. Oh, and Destiny's Captive. I do have more Beverly Jenkins. I love her part ones with the family. Those are different.
Okay.
And then I have like a JJ McAvoy, and then the Daria Vernon. We'll figure it out. We don't know our next book yet, but we know our next book. We don't know our next
month.
The next book, which you already have, which you're making me read 1,000-page book.
Well, the fourth one's supposed to come out this month, but I think it's delayed again. But we gotta.
Is it really? It was supposed to come out the 31st, right? We're talking about. We're going to be reading Burn of the Everflame. We are obsessed with the series.
They're reading the third one, Heat.
Oh, yeah. Heat.
Burn is the fourth one.
Okay, that's right. We're reading Heat.
Oh, here it is. Hold up.
Crystal's got all the books.
I got all the books. I'm a physical reader.
It's really heavy.
But it's so good. And it lags a little bit in the middle, but it's so.
That's right. You read this.
Yes, I'm gonna reread it because I actually got during the Audible sale.
Oh.
The audiobooks. So I'll reread it. I usually do my rereads in audio.
Okay.
Because I don't feel the need to be, unless I'll probably audiobook and physical read every now and then. But.
Well, I'm going to be reading on Kindle Unlimited, and it's going to take me all month. So.
When are we going to do her live?
That's right. We probably should pick a date. Whenever you say.
Whenever With power comes great responsibility.
It is going to be, my kids will be back to school. So by that time, they go back on the 14th. So 23rd?
Yeah, we can do the 23rd.
Or the 30th? Or we can do the 30th to give us just plenty of time.
Yeah, we could do that to give us time because it's good.
Okay, let's just do the 30th. We're going to read Heat of the Everflame. And we'll talk about it again on
It's gonna be on
August 30th on my channel this time. Because we like to go back and forth between fantasy romance and historical romance. One of these days, we're going to just throw in like a random non-romance thriller or something like that.
Because it is new readers.
I can tell you, we're never going to put a nonfiction on here.
Yeah, no. I will riot.
I'll fall asleep.
I'll riot by falling asleep.
I'll riot our own book club.
I don't want to do it.
I don't want to.
Yeah. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Oh, Toys R Us. Sad part.
I think Monica said The Hunter by Kerrigan Byrne. Was that Harry's book?
That was the second book in that series.
I read the first one, the Highwayman in that series. Yeah.
Which is like one of my all-time favorites. I have to read The Duke, the fourth one, and I heard that that's a lot of people's favorite after The Highwayman, so it's on my list to get to soon.
I know. And I'm not in the biggest historical. I say I'm not in the biggest historical romance mood, but I literally just read 3 of them, so I don't know.
Well, it's probably because you read 3 of them.
Oh, never mind.
That's what happens. I signed up for these arcs, and I'm like, I really want to read this. And then when I get them, I'm like, am I really in the mood for this? But I read them anyways, so they are very fun. Like, I love historical romances. They're just really fun. Although the one I read for, I read Ne'er-do-Well, which is a brand new Alexandra Vasti book. I liked the book, but I didn't love it because it's matchmaking. But I'm excited for her next one. It's like a curricle racing thing. And I really loved the writing in that book. The writing was really good in that book. And it's so spicy.
Didn't you read, was it a not Julia London, I don't know who it was exactly, but it was like a Greece inspired one.
I did read a Greece inspired
one. Curricle racing.
Yeah.
You're the one that I want, or something like that, or the Duke that I want.
You're the Duke that I want.
Or the Duke.
I did read that. Which one was that? Who did that? Was it my favorite girl?
I just remember
was it Amelie Howard?
The cover is in my head. Which one?
I think Lenore Bell.
I haven't read her either.
Lenore Bell. Oh, so cute. I love Lenore Bell. Lenore Bell's writing is cute. Very rom-com-y. Adorable.
And she's actually one of the few authors that try to publish right now.
I know. I haven't been reading a lot of trad.
Right.
Been reading a lot of indie. Anyways.
I've been in like a weird contemporary romance. Like, why choose dark romance? Like, I don't know. I say, as soon as it leaves my mouth of me saying I haven't really liked contemporary romance in a while, it has to be the right thing.
Yeah.
Next day, oh, this sounds good, and like now I'm deeply involved in it. So I'm like self-fulfilling prophecy, I guess. I don't know.
Phrases you'll never hear me say. I'm into this contemporary right now. Nope.
Right.
Although I give you points for why choose. That's all.
Right. Yeah, it's actually this series. Like, I don't know. I have to read the next one, but it's the Tate James series. So I've read the first 2, and I'm like, I'm gonna probably start the 3rd one because
it's just as soon as I pick up a cell phone, I'm so uninterested.
I've been bad at that too.
As soon as they go, oh, we're in Texas now, or some state that I know, I'm like, ugh. No, it's too close to real life.
Or they have the same name as somebody. You're like, no, I can't read this now.
Yeah, I know. They like use actual money. or go to a bathroom in a regular toilet. They don't take care of their business in the trees like a normal fantasy historical person. I don't know. I'm just uninterested as soon as they bring out modern times.
Yeah.
Anyways, my dinner's done.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hungry.
All right. So it's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific on the 30th of August on April's channel. I'm going to do
Yep.
Heat of the Everflame.
Heat of the Everflame. I can't wait to see what's in store for Luther again. I miss Luther. What was her name? I can't remember her name. I love her. DM. That's right. For some reason, I remember Luther because he's a shadow daddy, so I love him.
I love those shadows.
But forget about the lady. I don't care about her. And then we'll figure out our next historical romance, which will be 2 months from now. So
September, yeah. We'll figure something out.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Thanks for watching.
Have a good night.
Bye.